Hey everybody, it's Liz, and I'm back to share with you my very first Halloween project for this year. And I'm just so excited. You guys know how much I love Halloween, so I'm just super excited that it's right around the corner and I can start, my decorations for Halloween. Every year I like to make new things to add to my collection, and so this is my very first project that I'm making this year, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think it came out really, really cute. I was inspired by a pin on Pinterest. I mean, you guys know how much I love Pinterest, and you get the best ideas. I get inspired all the time. And so, if you guys haven't guessed it yet, this wall piece, it's a wall piece that's attached. There's 3 pieces, and it's actually made out of those silver trays that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree. How cool is that, right? For like $3, you can create this really cool wall piece. And see, I'm going to pick it up so you guys can see how it's attached. And of course, I glued it together using E6000. These are metal pieces, so you don't want to use hot glue because it's just going to fall apart. But I used E6000 to hold them together. And I've got a hook, the wall hooks, I guess not, well, yeah, like picture frame hooks. I've got one in the back of the circle part, and that way it can just hook onto my wall, and it's like a really cool wall piece. So I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So first thing first, you guys, you buy the little the Dollar Tree silver trays, I should say. I primed mine simply because it's metal, and I knew, if you just painted acrylic with acrylic paint, it's just going to chip off. So I used spray paint. I used a primer first in black, and then I spray painted them with 2 coats of black paint. Just, this one was satin. I didn't want a glossy finish, and of course you can get the flat finish, which is really cool too, but I used a satin finish on this. I spray painted the 3 pieces, let them dry real good, and then I used, the paper that I used is by My Mind's Eye. It's last year's collection. It's called Wicked. And I used a combination of the 12x12 paper pad and the 6x6 paper pad, which was gifted to me by P, who is Whimsical Endeavors here on YouTube. Thank you so much, P. I love it. And I was so glad I was able to use it. This is my first time using it. So I'm really, really happy with. I love this paper because it's got a lot of really cool images, a lot of really nice colors, and it's got a very vintage feel. A really, really awesome collection by My Mind's Eye. It's called Wicked. So basically what I did is I just cut out, each of the pattern papers to fit within the frame or the little silver tray, as you can see. And then I decided to create sort of like a scene, right? And the scene is Halloween, All Hallows Eve. And it starts off over here. Basically what it is, it's Halloween, you guys. So, it's super creepy. I've got a cemetery scene going on, and basically all the, creatures or the night creatures are coming out. If you can see my little guy coming out of his grave, look how cute. It's just a little skeleton head. I used a little skeleton head, and his little hands are sticking out. So he's coming out from his grave, because he hears all this, really cool music and sounds and everything. He's going to make his way over here to the awesome haunted house. And then after that, obviously he's going to go inside and have a blast at this awesome Halloween party. So just this cute little, scene I kind of concocted using the papers. I was inspired by the papers, the, really cool images. But like I said, I lined everything with the pattern paper, and then went ahead and created my scene according to the pattern papers. In this case, I wanted a graveyard scene. So I've got a little fence. This little fence I picked up at Hobby Lobby in the Christmas section. It's white, a nice cheery white, but of course I grunged it up using some Distress ink pads. So it's now, a little grungy, grayish color. I've got a little cutout. It says Carlisle Cemetery, and it was just cut out from one of the papers. And I distressed it with black soot. I attach it to the little fence, and I've got a lot of spider webs all over the fence. And these are, the little spider webbing you can pick up anywhere. I've had, several bags forever, and I just have spider webs all over. I've got this little die-cut crow. That's the Tim Holtz Movers and Shapers die, and I just cut him out of cardstock, so he's perched on the fence. In the background, you can see the tree, and this is also by Tim Holtz. I think it's just called Branch Tree or Bare Branch Tree, something like that. And what I did is I die cut 4 pieces using chipboard. I wanted it to stack them on top of one another to give it a more dimensional look. I didn't want a flat tree. And what I did, hopefully you guys are able to see some of the detail, but basically I inked it using walnut ink stain, and then I used embossing powder to create that texture. See, you guys can see it? Really cool. It actually looks like bark. I like to do that on all my trees and branches and things like that because it comes out really cool. It does look like bark. So it's just a bare tree, and like I said, it's 4 pieces of chipboard. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see the dimension on that, but they're just stacked on top of one another. I glued them all together. And then I have some little leaves in the background, like you can see that little orange one that's just kind of falling. It just fell. And there's some back here, behind the fence. I basically used a little punch. It's got these little fall leaves. I die cut or punched some out from cardstock. I wet them with my mini mister and then crinkled them up to give them a realistic dried leaf look. So there's a bunch of leaves back there. Hard to see. And then of course I've got some moss going on to mimic the grass, the dried grass and things like that. And then here's Mr. Skeleton. Basically this is from the Dollar Tree, those little mini skeletons. I just took his head off, cut off his little hands, and stuck them in the moss. So it looks like he's coming out of his grave. He's got his little hands out and he's ready to party. Very cute. In the background I've got some bats, and these are by Movers and Shapers, or Tim Holtz. And I used flocked paper to give them that fuzzy or furry look. I hope you guys are able to see that detail, but they're really soft. It's just flocked paper. And one of them I just, it's actually 2 stacked on top of one another, again, to give them a little bit of dimension. And then there's one that's attached on there with some foam tape to give him dimension as well. So very cool. And then in the background I just have, some more spider webbing in one of the corners. And, I just wanted like a really creepy scene. So that's the first part, right? And then you go to the middle where he's making his way to this really cool party that's thrown by this wicked witch. She's not so wicked. She's actually quite nice, but, the paper's called Wicked, so there you go. And this scene I created using several sheets of the pattern paper. I used one whole sheet from my background that had the moon and some of those bats, and then I fussy cut the house and some of the branches from a different pattern paper, and I used lots of foam tape, of course, to give it dimension. I adhered it onto my silver tray, and in the background over here in the left corner you can see some of the bare branches again. And these are also by Tim Holtz, well, the same one. It's the same tree die, but I just cut out some of the branches and kind of adhered them to the background before I attached my house. That way it looks like there's like a dead tree in the background. And again, these were done using walnut ink stain and the embossing powder. And it gives it a really cool texture, very cool bark-like look. And then I've got one of the furry bats up here. And let me see what else. And then I created, a little scene down here at the bottom. Continuation of the house. So you've got the dry moss. I've got this cute little picket fence. And this is like 3 chipboard die cuts, basically glued on top of one another. I painted them black to stress the edges a little bit with some sanding paper or sandpaper, and then I attached or adhered some of the little spider webbing all over it. And I've got these cute little pumpkins. The pumpkins are from a pick from Michaels, and I just took them out and adhered them onto the fence so that it looks like there's pumpkins in front of the fence. And here I've got this really cool witch, and she is part of the Wicked collection. I fussy cut her out. It was attached. The whole piece is one, the branch and house and her. So I fussy cut her out. And I adhered just little bits of lace to her gown or her dress just to give it a more realistic look. And then she's got a little rhinestone in the middle for her necklace. I hope you guys are able to see that. And so, she's all dressed up to the nines for an awesome Halloween party. And the branch, it was quite short, so I actually fussy cut 2 different pieces, and I adhered them together so it could, come all the way across. And it's all inked with black soot. Very cool. I think it came out awesome. And then, of course, I've got my skeleton hands, one on each side. I wanted it to look as if there were, someone behind it, and they're holding the silver tray. So I've got 2 skeleton hands, one on each side, and these you can pick up at Michael's. I think they're like $1.99, and you get like 10 of them. So really cool. I still have mine from like 2 years ago. I have a couple of hands left. And so I've got the hands there. They look really cool. And I've got a lot of spider webbing on top as well, over here. just to give it a creepy look. And then this is my last little tray, and this one is the party scene. So basically this is the inside of the house. It's all decked out for Halloween. I've got pretty green wallpaper, and again, that's the pattern paper from the Wicked collection by My Mind's Eye. I fussy cut this chandelier out of one of the other papers, and I used glossy accents on top to give it, you know, a dimensional, but yet, you know, shiny look. Oops, sorry, I moved the camera. And so I have them, the chandelier on there with some foam tape. These pieces were all fussy cut from a different collection. I like the fireplace scene with the crow and the candelabra, and then this is like a portrait of the witch. Fussy cut that out, inked all the edges with black soot, and then I have some foam tape behind that. I've got a little rhinestone here. Very cool. Everything is inked with black soot, you guys. Of course, it's Halloween. Gotta give it, you know, that grungy look, shadowy. I love the little crow. He's holding a little sign that says October 31st. And then here for the fireplace, I wanted to create fire. So I took a pick. This is a pick from Michaels. And it's really long, and it's like curvy pieces. And they're glittered in, you know, orange glitter. And so I just cut it up into little pieces, because it reminded me of flames, you know, the way that it's curvy and the orange color and the way that it glistens. It reminded me of flames, and so I kind of bundled them up with some hot glue. I used some glossy accents as well so it wouldn't go anywhere. And it's just the flames for the fire, you know, so it's like a roaring fire. Very cool. Love the cute little Halloween banner on the fireplace. And then I have two little pumpkins, one on each side of the fireplace, and these are white pumpkins. These I picked up at Tuesday Morning like 2 years ago for 60 cents after Halloween. They were just in a little bag. I think there was like 10 of them. But these are super cute. I love them. And of course it's very dimensional. See the pumpkins? Okay, so I've got that. And then I've got some spider webbing on, you know, one of the corners. And that's it. And I just want to show you the back real quick, because I did finish the back. Like I said, everything was spray painted black. And on the back, all I did is I adhered pattern paper. And then here I'm going to show you the hook. There's the hook, or not hook, but I don't know what you would call that. But you know, they're you can get them on. They're like on the canvases or picture frames. And I got like this little box of hardware from Michaels, and I just used E6000. I attached it to the back, and that's how I'm going to hook it up to my wall, or you know, hang it. And that's it. And so the three pieces are attached to make one, you know, wall hanging, so I wouldn't have separate ones. I think the one that I saw, it was like 3 separate ones, but they were, you know, hung on the wall together. Oops, sorry, went too far there. But I wanted mine to be just one piece, you know. So that's it. I think it came out really cool. I'm so happy Halloween is here. I'm gonna have so much fun. I love it. I always think, I don't know, for some reason I think I get the most creative around this time of year, because it's like my inner creepy person comes out, and I can really just do some crazy things, which I can't do the rest of the year. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I just love Halloween, you guys. It's such a fun time. But that's my wall piece. I hope you like it. Like I said, I was inspired by a pin I saw on Pinterest. I think mine, I did a lot more little things, but I really like it. I like the little details, the little scene. And it's really cool. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and I hope you guys like it too. Let me know what you think, alright? And hopefully I inspire you to create your own little wall piece. This would be cool too for any other holiday too, right? Like if you painted in white and use a, like, you know, Christmas paper. How pretty would this be for Christmas? Or any holiday, really. But I'm thinking of doing one for Christmas too. I think that'd be awesome. And to use a lot of like fake snow and lots of pretty colors, I think it'd be great. But anyways, I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see y'all real soon. Bye-bye.